Hello everybody, my name is Jane. I worked as a maid in my classmate's house. And if you think that's how humiliating it is, I'll tell you something else. It was only through this job that I learned all the truth about my friendship with her. How did I ever come to work for her, and even as a maid? Listen to my story. I was originally a rich girl, just like my friend Sophie. I met her at a fundraiser her mother was throwing. I went there in my best Chanel dress and Jimmy Choo shoes, and imagine my surprise and disappointment when I saw the same dress and shoes on another girl. We smiled wryly at each other as our families came over to say hello. Good evening. Wonderful restaurant.
Good evening. Thank you. Yes, the restaurant is wonderful.
Great taste.
Yes, I see your taste is exquisite too.
She said this and looked at my outfit. I smiled back at her, and then our moms accented the dresses. Ugh. We restrained ourselves, and Sophie took me under her arm and told my folks that we would leave them and go for a walk by ourselves. Anyway, that night we bonded. It was surprisingly easy to find common ground with her. By the end of the evening, we had already washed the bones of all those whose dresses cost less than $5,000. Yes, sneaky and so exciting. Since then, Sophie and I have been inseparable. As it turned out, our tastes were similar not only in clothes, but also in boyfriends, as well as handbags, manicures, and even the way we talked. We saw each other every day and became best friends. Were we embarrassed by so many coincidences? We thought it was funny because even twins sometimes weren't as similar as we were. I considered my best friend to be a big deal, and how cool it was to eat lobster together, drink expensive wine, ride expensive cars, not deny ourselves anything. We became a popular duo. We were even featured in local fashion magazines. And then I found out that my dad's company was getting worse. It was a big blow to my mom and I. We weren't used to having to save money. We'd always lived large, and then this happened? Dad came home from work one day, sat down on the couch, and covered his face with his hands. Mom and I ran up to him and started to ask him what was wrong. It's over. Over what? What do you mean? Is it the end? The business is over. We're bankrupt. How so? Bankrupt a little or a lot? A lot. In 3 days, they'll take away some of our cars and some of our furniture. We'll have to rent the house out and move. Don't tell me to your mothers. That's right. It's the only way out. Not until I set things straight. No, I can't stand that. I'd rather sleep outside than in her house. There must be another way. I'm looking for it, but that takes time. Do you think it's easy for me now? Business is a tricky thing. I'll think of something. Pack your bags. You have 3 days. It was a blow. I don't know who was more upset, my mom or me. I immediately called Sophie and tearfully told her the truth.
Oh shit, where does your grandmother live?
Out of town.
In the countryside?
Yeah, that's why we hardly ever go there.
Oh shit, what about... we're having a party on my birthday, are you gonna miss it?
I don't know, Sophie, things are really bad at home. I'm not gonna have a car. They're gonna take away some of our furniture.
Stay at my place.
What? But I can't.
Why not? Just stay with me. There's plenty of room in the house, and food too. There's enough for everyone.
I can't live like that, on your back.
It's nothing. I'll talk to my mom about it.
What if I work for you?
What do you mean?
You know, as a maid.
As a servant? Are you kidding?
No, I'm not. While we live together, I'll do some chores around the house, and we'll drive to school and back home together, and I can be at every party you go to. What do you say?
Well, you know, my personal maid just quit. I think it'll work out. How would your parents feel about that, though?
I'm not going to talk about it. I'll just say I'll stay at your place because it's more convenient for us to go to school. Surprisingly, my parents agreed. They got along well with Sophie's parents, too, and they probably didn't have time to think about it much. My friend came to pick me up the next day, and I had already managed to pack my things. I was given a uniform. Sophie's mom and dad said they would pay me, and it would be pocket money. All in all, the situation even pleased me. After all, I had never earned money on my own before. I was given a better room, not for servants. Now I slept next to Sophie's room. It was fine at first, but I was trained in all the rules and work. To tell you the truth, I didn't think I would have so many responsibilities. First, I had to wake her up, then make her bed, make breakfast, set the table, then iron her clothes, help her get ready, put on her makeup. After a week, I was already so tired that I overslept. Sophie knocked on my door and was like, "Hey Jane, why didn't you wake me up?" I could barely open my eyes and told her that I had overslept. I expected understanding from my friend because, after all, we were friends. Then she told me that the maid should not behave this way, and since I got a salary, it was obligatory to work. Although I did not like it, I decided not to spoil the mood and not to make a scene, and just to keep quiet. The second time didn't take long. We got to school, and Sophie said to me at lunch, "Jane, get me some cocoa." The girls looked at her with this look on their faces, and so did I. "What?"
"Get me some cocoa," I said.
I gritted my teeth a little and said in her ear, "Sophie, we're not at home. We're at school." Sophie laughed and was like,
"Oh, I'm sorry. That was out of habit."
"What habit?" I elbowed her and told her that I'd just been staying at her house all week. Sophie smiled and said nothing more. A few days later, when I was cleaning her room, Sophie came out of nowhere. "Where did you come from?"
"I don't have to report to my maid."
"What?"
"I'm sorry, I forgot. I met a guy. Or rather, I didn't meet him. I've started hanging out with him. Remember Gare?"
"That handsome guy?"
"Yeah."
"Did he ask you out?"
"Can you believe it? Well, that's to be expected."
It broke my heart because I liked him and Sophie knew it. And he also asked me out first, but I had to turn him down because of the circumstances. "You know I like him."
"Well, you're in a different position now. I don't think he'd go out with my maid."
"I'm your friend and classmate."
"Yeah, and you also wear a cap and apron."
"I never expected this from you."
"I'm just stating a fact. Am I wrong?" "Oh, I'm sorry. He's calling me. You can come out now."
I walked out and slammed the door. As it turned out, our friendship was spoiled not only by the lack of money, situation, but also by a guy. The next day I took a cab to school. No one knew how I lived, and I asked Sophie not to tell them. She gave me her word, and I believed her. I saw Gare at school, and he came in to do some errands. Sophie wasn't there, so I went up to him, and he recognized me right away, and we started talking. "What are you doing here?"
"I came to see someone."
"Sophie?"
"Well, you know."
"No, I don't. You asked me out."
"But you didn't say anything back."
"So you disappeared, huh?"
"What's going on here?"
"Nothing. We're just chatting."
"Garrett, come on. You don't have to talk to my maid if you don't want to."
"What do you mean, maid?"
"Didn't she tell you? She's my personal maid because our family went bankrupt."
"Is it true?"
"Why? Does it change anything?"
"It changes everything, honey."
"So that's what you did to me."
"It's all factual. We have to go now, and you have to get home early. My room is a mess. Tidy it up."
I shouted at her back that I was quitting and gave her the middle finger, but she didn't stop shitting on me. She posted pictures and videos of me cleaning her house to the entire class, and everyone started pointing fingers at me and shouting, "Maid!" You can't imagine how hurt I was. I went to her house and told her parents I was leaving. I packed my things and called a cab. Sophie came home, and she didn't even apologize to me. "Why are you doing this? What have I ever done to you?"
"I'm sorry. My parents taught me to be friends with decent people."
"So for you, it was all about money."
"You would have done the same thing."
"No, for the simple reason that I'm not like you."
"Then I feel sorry for you. Talk to bums. Talk to whoever you want. I don't care anymore."
I went to her father's office to talk about the final settlement, but I accidentally stumbled into his conversation with someone. I heard it was about my father, and what I heard just shocked me. I videotaped everything through the doorway and showed my father when I got there. We were shocked. Sophie's father had made sure we lost everything because Dad didn't want to dance to his tune. Dad called their mutual acquaintances and they went to settle the matter. A month later, we got everything back, the money and the company. Sophie came after me for a long time, but no, I told her to go away. Her and Gare, who also called me, by the way. I don't regret what happened to me because it showed me the true face of my friend.